everyone, and welcome to today's story time, y'all. Y'all, I was really gonna avoid this, but I was like, you know what, no, let me just tell this story time because I really cannot let this go on. Now, do not let this deter you from doing a study. This is just me. I am a magnet for drama, and I've always been the first person to say that. Like, I could literally just be chilling, hanging out, and some reason somebody will like not like me, and instead of just like going on and like just not liking me, they always have to do something about it. And that's exactly what happened. Like, this is the story of my life. Okay, so y'all, I've already told you like the extra study portion, so I'm gonna use this as like a jail thing because that's no, I'm just kidding. Okay, I won't do it. I was gonna say once you get released into the general population, that's what I was gonna say, but I won't do it. Okay, so yeah, so the first day you get into a study, they always assign you bunks. Bunks, oh god. You go into rooms, sometimes you don't have bunk beds, but sometimes you do. My study was a very large one. There was like 36 chicks, so they put us in bunk beds, even though for the most part, we were like the only chicks we were the only people on the floor, except for a couple people who would check in and check back out. There was one study who was there with us one of the first days. They had checked out, and then another girl, she checked back into another study, and we were still there, you know what I'm saying? She was like, damn, y'all still here? Like, yes. Even the workers were like, y'all still here? So yeah. Anyway, they ended up putting me, God, and they always, I don't even want to say it, but like, they kind of categorize you too. I feel like a lot of times they'll put you like with other black girls, or they'll put like a certain race, because I noticed that like certain rooms had like certain types of people, and even though it's randomized, I don't know, but yeah. So I get there, and because I'm under 30, they put me always on the top bunk, and I didn't really mind it. When I was a kid, I liked the top bunk, but now that I'm older, I don't like it at all. So they assigned me my bed, and at this point, I'm just happy to get into the study at this point. Like, I'm not here for any drama. I had brought a lot of things to do, guys. I had brought my laptop, my hard drive, I had all my editing gear, I had brought obviously I had files on my phone. I had brought 3 notebooks. I was going to just plan out how I'm going to spend my money so that I don't fuck up like I did last time. I brought just all kinds of things. Movies. I already knew the place already, so I knew that, you know, what my watching schedule was going to be for The Real Housewives every Sunday night. Then The Real Housewives of Potomac, and then The Real Housewives of Beverly Hills. Like, I already knew what I was going to be watching. I was going to binge watch Orange is the New Black, so you guys get it. Like, I had things to do while I was in there. Plus, I'm a loner. I totally don't mind being alone for long periods of times, and I don't have to even talk to people in the study. But, you know, it's always obviously just being kind and courteous. So that's just my thing. If somebody talks to me, I'll talk to them, but I don't really go out of my way simply because it's not that I'm not there to make friends, but I know what I'm there to do. So, yeah. I get there, and everybody's already clicked up. And I'm not one to sleep. I'm not really shy around people. I just don't really like dealing with them. There's a huge difference. And I just like whatever. So there was a girl, and then she had her cousin. Now, we had nicknamed this chick Prison Mom because of the way that she would walk around. She was real hood. She had this long chain, and she had this really long weave, but at the same time she would sag her pants. So I guess she was like a stud or something, but I don't know. I had never seen a stud with like nails and like a long weave. But then she would wear boxers, and you could see her, you know, she would always, and she had like a little limp and a little type of walk. I don't even know what that was, but she had it. So yeah, I was like, okay, girl, okay. So she had her little cousin in there. I'm just gonna call her cousin Ash. And yeah, Prison Mom and Ash. So we're all in a room together, and then there were some other girls in there, but I'll talk about them later. So, you know, I get my things. So right off the bat, I had already been kind of seeing people that I know and that I was kind of like, you know, hanging out with again, because when I was in the screening, I had already met a couple of the other girls. So when we all saw each other again, it was like, oh, hey girl, you know, blah, blah, blah. I know a couple of girls who I had actually seen before. Like Angela, me and her, I had met her like 4 years ago in my other big study that I did. So yeah, the first day, it wasn't the most comfortable in the room because of how Prison Mom was acting. Like, she was real weird. Like, she was being cliquey for no reason. Like, we're not in jail no more. Like, you don't even have to do that. We could all just hang out, you know what I'm saying? So the basis of it was they would pretty much take over the theater room. Her and these two other girls, they would sit in the computer room in a corner in the dark all damn day long. And nobody would ever go in there because, number one, people were scared. They didn't want to confront them. And they would just be like, we're using it. And they would just be taking over the computer room every day, all day long. And they were, you know, they were pretty scary to people. But it's like, we're in a study, so I wasn't scared of them. And plus, I'm not a small person. Like, I'm like 5'8". Like, come on. I'm just playing. I don't even use my weight, but it's like, we were like the same height. If something was going to happen, I wasn't going to be like, you know what I'm saying? But I wouldn't even have to do that because we're in a study. Remember that. So anyway, so a couple days passed by, and y'all, it didn't take much. Okay, so I already knew that something was going to happen between me and this girl, because you're not going to disrespect me, and I don't play that. Like, I may be nice, but, you know, and the crazy thing is that they always target nice people, and they always target people who they think are going to do nothing to them. So that's even more embarrassing on your part, because now you're targeting people that you think are weak, so that makes your ass weak. Okay? We would do our things. We hadn't gotten to our kinetic days. Kinetic days are when you actually come there for what you came for. At this point, we're just dosing upward. I already knew that she didn't like me for whatever reason. I would stay off her to a corner. I had found a little bed, and I would just be in that corner all day, every day long. I really wouldn't be messing with anybody. I would be on my computer. And our day would typically go like, we'll wake up, and then we would do our like blood pressure, ECGs. I think it's called an ECG. But no, I know it was like temperature and like our heart rate or whatever. And then we would go and we would eat breakfast, and we would dose. We would sit down for 15 minutes, and then we would go back to our bed. After that, at around 12-ish, we would eat our lunch. Then a 5-hour period of doing nothing, and then we would eat dinner, and then we would do more kinetics. Well, not kinetics. We would just do our blood pressure, blah, blah, and then we would go to bed. That's how every single day went. So you had about 10 hours every single day of just doing shit that you want, because bedtime wasn't until midnight. Now, when Prison Mom and her friends would walk down the hallways, people would get out of the way. They would be really uncomfortable. It was very weird and strange. So one day, I was like, I'm gonna leave my bed, because there was like a bed in the cafeteria area, and it was by the window, and I love sun. So I would just sit there and just try to like regenerate, I don't know, energy, whatever. So I went into like the movie room, and they were in there. I go in there and I was like, hey guys, what are you guys watching? I know that people hate that, but the movie hadn't even started, and I could see that they were just hanging out. So they were like, oh girl, we just trying to find something to watch. Probably gonna watch something. So Prison Mom says something, I thought it was funny. Like, I was like, ooh, we should watch that. She was like, hell no, we are not about to watch that. So I just laughed. And she was like, what you laughing for? Ain't nothing funny about that. And y'all, it just completely caught me off guard. And I said, are we not supposed to be laughing? And then I said, what are you going to tell me what's funny and what's not? And it just got really uncomfortable. And even her friend with her name is Pineapple, we'll just call her that. She ain't nothing but a trifling ass bitch. She was like, girl, ain't nothing funny. So that was kind of weird. And I just left the room because I was like, I did not get up and leave my comfortable ass bed in the kitchen for this. It's not even the kitchen, it was a cafeteria. But y'all know what I mean. I go back to my bed and I just sit down. I'm like, it's gonna be one of these type of studies. I already know I'm gonna have to like get into it with this girl, but whatever. So like a day or two passes by, she's still being weird, and then she has on this blow dryer at night. She has on a blow dryer, guys. Now let me tell you guys something. Because we get up at 5:30 to 6 o'clock in the morning, they come in and turn on the lights. After we dose, all of us are extremely tired. Like, we are so tired. We just want to fall out after that, because it's about 2 hours of stuff that you're doing, and then you just want to go back to bed. I would always go back to bed, and as soon as I would go to bed, I would hear a fucking blow dryer. And I was like, what is that? What is that? I thought it was somebody's fan or something. So I would go tell the paramedics, and they would come, and they would tell her to go turn it off. She would turn it back on. They would come, and then finally they took it away, but then like a day or two later, they went and they gave it back to her. And she would still keeping it on. And then they would say little stuff. I didn't say it was me, not because I was scared, but because I had already asked her, why do you do that? And I already told her multiple times, could you turn that thing off? So then I just started going to the paramedics, because I'm sick of you having that on while I'm trying to sleep. And I'm not trying to start a fight, and I already knew it was going to be a fight with this girl. So her cousin And this other girl, this light-skinned girl, her name was Red. That was her nickname. They would sleep next to each other on the bunks. They would be loud as fuck. Mainly Red. The cousin, Ash, she actually had like some sense to her. So she could kind of see that if everybody in the room is sleeping, let's be quiet. But no, Red didn't have no goddamn sense. So I would constantly have to be telling Red, like, shh, hey, could you be quiet? And I shouldn't even have to tell a grown woman, adults this. And because nobody else wanted to say nothing. Nobody else. Because everybody was scared. And it was like, you know, they really just didn't want to start nothing. They would much rather just deal with it. But I'm not one of those people, like, if you are bothering me, I'm going to tell you right then and right there. And what's up? Like, that's exactly how I am. Because there's no point in beating around the bush, and plus we're in a study and there's $9,000 and I shouldn't have to argue with you. So a couple other like things happened, and the women start talking about prison mom. They start going to the paramedics and telling on her and being like, this girl is doing this girl is doing that, we don't feel comfortable here, blah blah blah. First I wasn't really saying nothing because I don't even know this woman. Who this woman, Harpo? You know, and you don't want to go up to a stranger in a little room like that. But yeah, but I had no problem, because what are you gonna do to me? You're not gonna do nothing, because there's money involved. You know, and it's not even like I'm being rude and you're the one that's causing the problem. I don't know what that was just now. My titty was itching a little bit. Anyway, guys, some things happened, and so things started getting worse. There was this girl who just did not like me for whatever reason. She was from Houston. She had this big, her name is Pineapple Girl. We're just gonna call her that again. She does not like me. She's always looking at me crazy in the hallways. She was one of the people that would laugh at me. And she told one of the girls that she didn't like me because I was always in a good mood. I was in a good mood because I wasn't going to be broke anymore, okay, for a minute, okay? That's why I was in a good mood, okay? Some of y'all have shit to lose, but I have a little bit more than you do. And the prison mom didn't like me either because I would be laughing. I'd laugh. That's just what some people do. So I started becoming friends with this girl. Her name was Key. She was in the blue group, which was going home. And because the blue group ended up not being able to get their medicine in time, so they ended up down dosing them early and they had to leave. So, you know, we're in the hallway, we're all just walking, me, her, and like two other girls or another girl or whatever. And I was like, man, those girls are so loud, because Key is in my room too and she knows that they're loud. I'm like, I can't even sleep during the day because of it. And I've told them to be quiet, but they won't. So she's like, girl, you know, something. So we were all laughing, and then she saw this guy in the hallway and he was like stumping. So we were laughing. And she started stumping like after him, but we were right by our door, and we were outside of our door. So Red gonna get her big ass off the top bunk, come down to the bottom bunk, and it's like, who was making all that noise? Who's and then Key was like, it was me. And then Red was like, can you be quiet? That was her personality. It's like, she was super dramatic, super loud. Like, she loves attention too, and she had a big butt. And she would always wear these ridiculously tight short pants that gave her like a wedgie, but her butt was huge. But her face was just kind of like a 2. But you know, her body was like an 8. Or a 10. She had a nice little body. She had a great shape. She had a really flat stomach. She had a huge booty. But yeah, but that face was just like, no. I would rather a nice looking face than a nice body, but whatever. Okay. But she gets her big ass down from the top bunk. And so her and Key, they start going at it. Key is acting a little bit too dramatic, but she's like, I'm outside, so why does that matter? You're loud inside, which is true. They are loud inside. They could take their loudness outside. And she's like, but you're right by the door, so you gonna be like a kid? You gonna act like a kid? That was what I was saying, blah, 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 back and forth, y'all. I was just like, whatever, y'all. Anyway, she goes in the bathroom. And I already knew once she goes back in the room, I was like, y'all, if we go back in the room, they're going to be talking about us. And so Key was like, I don't care. Let them talk. And I was like, well, I don't care either, really. But I really don't want to do this today. Y'all, we get in the room. She's talking shit. And all of a sudden, you know, they just start arguing. I'm trying to calm down Key. And so then Key leaves the room because the guy comes inside and he starts talking to us. And then I'm like, okay, so you are honestly very loud, like, during the day. And then she starts saying, but was I blah, blah, blah. But was I? And then she starts doing that hand clap thing. And don't fucking clap your hands, girl. Don't be clapping. Even though you're on the top bunk and I'm on the, like, ground, don't fucking clap your hands at me. Are you crazy? Like, you can talk to me. Like, she's 23. Or, like, 22 or something like that. And I'm 25. Don't clap your hands at me. Like, don't do that. Because number one, if you're clapping your hands like this, I can't even hear what you're saying. All you're doing is gonna anger something. Don't do that. Like, even like girls, listen, don't clap your hands at people, especially when you don't know them. Clapping your hands is just stupid, and it gets no point. Like, unless you're going like, don't ever fuck with me. That doesn't even work, right? Because all you hear is this. Like, just stop fucking clapping your hands. Stop that bullshit. So I get angered. Hand clapping is like a red, like, just may as well just put a red flag in front of a bull, because that's just really annoying. Like, don't do that. I'm like, girl, shut up. Because immediately, she wasn't even trying to hear my side of the story. Then Ash, her friend, starts jumping in, and she's not even really saying nothing that matters to nobody. So yeah, that blah, 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 talking all that, and I'm like, girl, shut the fuck up. You are stupid. Because she was stupid, y'all. This girl, like, it was really no getting through to her, but I was going to let her know that day. Anyway, one of the guys, he ended up coming in. I was pretty sure they were going to dock my money, but they didn't. And he ended up having to come in and kind of just like break it up. So, anyway, y'all, we got back to arguing. Because she just started saying some bull. Like, she started talking mess, but she was scared. Like, this girl's a little chihuahua, and we already nicknamed her Scary because, y'all, she wasn't really doing anything. And on top of that, she wasn't really making any sense. I'm just trying to let her know that she's being loud. And then she keeps doing that hand clap thing and telling me, but we're inside. But aren't we inside? But aren't we inside? It's like, that's even worse. You're being loud when listen, everybody, after we would do our procedures, we would all head straight to our room, and the entire floor was quiet for 3 hours because we would all be sleeping. And the girls, like, they would be finding random ass places to sleep. You would find chicks sleeping in the computer room, in random rooms, like in the movie room. Like, there would be no movie on, and we would just be sleeping in like the TV movie room thing because you couldn't fucking sleep in our room, and everybody was too scared. And then the one girl who did say something, they all jumped on her and yelled at her. So nobody was definitely gonna say nothing about it. And So I was like, and I already told the girls, I was like, I know I'm gonna have to be the one to do this. So anyway, I ended up asking him, can you move my room? And he was like, yes, I will move your room. He is so nice. So I ended up getting a much better room. They put me by the window, and I was on the bottom bunk, and I had the best, like, roommate. Even my girl, Angela, she came and she helped me, like, move my room to the other side. And I was so happy. I was so happy. That's what I should have been in the first place. Because at that point, they had taken away the beds in the kitchen area, like the eating area. So I had to keep, like, writing in, like, the computer room and all that stuff. And because I was never in my room. I literally would wake up, from the time I woke up until midnight, I would not go to bed. So, the crazy thing is that during the fight, things escalated because Prison Mom came in there and she was like, why are you over there arguing with a crackhead bum-ass chick like Key? And so we all were like, damn, did she know her? She just called her a crackhead. And we were like, oh, maybe she knew her back in Houston. They were both from Houston. And so she was like, you know better than her. Look at her type. Like, that's how she was talking about her. So I shouldn't have done this, y'all, but after things had simmered down, I had told Key, I was like, Key, did you know her? Back? And she said, no, I had never knew that girl in my life. And I was like, oh, okay. I said, well, she's telling people that you used to be a crackhead. And she was like, who said that? And I said, Prison Mom. For some weird reason, she thought I was talking about Ash, her cousin. So she got to go, and I didn't even know till later, way later, that she had went and confronted Ashley, that she had went and whatever her name is, and that Prison Mom had, like, got up. And so then, we're all just hanging out, and all of a sudden, I hear the argument coming way down the hallway, and I'm like, what the fuck? Y'all, it was a brawl. They ended up having to split us up. The doctor took us into another room, and we all had to have a talk. And he was like, if you guys keep this up, I will end your study now. And I'm just like, this is so stupid. And then the girls, when we got in there, they're going to tell the doctors that they were threatened by us, blah, blah, blah. That didn't really work because everybody was threatened by them, but they said that they were threatened by me and Key, y'all. Key is like 5'1", 90 pounds. She is tiny, so they all was like seeing past their bullshit or whatever. So then and then it was crazy because even after the doctor had a fight, Pineapple Girl, she started with me. Listen, I'm already hyped up. I'm mad because I just had to get into an argument with a wildebeest. Then I went in the hallway. It's like 7 girls all yelling at Kiera, okay? So I go and I'm sitting down, and here comes the Pineapple Girl. She's like, the one who had said that she didn't like me because of the way that I laughed and I talked, and she would always go like, hee 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 hee. She would like do that down the hallway, but she would never say it to my face, and she would never say who she was even talking about because she was a little bitch. So, you know, she was real conniving, whatever. She would come up to me in my face and say, Irma, is that you starting all this drama, real fake? And I was like, weren't you just laughing at me in the computer room, like, or in the movie room? And she was like, what? And I said, yeah, the other day, remember? This girl gets in my face talking shit. So you already knew I had to get up. She was like, I wasn't talking about you. And I was like, are you sure? And I said, okay. So I had let it go. I said, okay, if you say you're not, you know, you're a fake ass bitch. You were, but whatever. Y'all, she keeps it going because she's trying to show how big and bad she is. She was already standing over me, but she's like, if I had something to say, but then she walks away. And I was like, oh, no, you're not about to tell me talk some shit and then, you know, get up and walk away. As she's walking away, like okay, so I'm sitting here, she's standing over me there, and she starts walking around, right? As she's doing that, she tells me that she's gonna slap me. She's like, well, her terms, don't make me have to slap somebody. And I said, who? And she says, whoever. And her back is turned to me at this point because she's walking away. I get up and I go behind her and I say, slap me. I said, don't make threats. Go ahead and do it because I don't like people who make threats. If you're gonna do something, do it. She ain't gonna do nothing, so I followed her, and then her other girlfriend was like, go away. And I said, bitch, shut up. It was just a bunch of unnecessary drama for nothing, but that's just how you have to handle with some of these hood ass chicks. Like, they're so stupid, they literally forget what they're even there for, and that's why they don't even get nowhere in life. So one of the paramedics ended up hearing her, and he told the doctor. The doctor had a private talk with her and telling her like to just leave me alone because this is all I ever wanted. I'm literally here with a stack of books trying to be left alone, right? So then later on that night, I was not playing with this girl. I was going to pick on her and make her feel extremely uncomfortable in here because of what she had did. I knew that I was not going to be able to get her in the shower and beat that ass because I knew she was always with these girls. See, y'all, what I was going to do, I was like, you know what? I'm going to wait till it's like nighttime and it's shower time, and I'm going to see her go in there, and then I'm going to ask her what's up. Like, because you were talking all that mess earlier. But I was like, you know what? I'm not going to do it. I am done. I don't want to go to jail again. Let's just chill. So I let it go, but I did do little stuff to pick on her. So that night, I wanted to watch the Real Housewives of Atlanta. You know, it's reunion time. It's pretty much at the end. Anyway, one day, I was just kind of sick of them, and they were always hogging up the movie room. So I went and I told them, I was like, hey, you know, I wanted to watch the Real Housewives. I went in there and I asked them, could I borrow the TV for an hour? They're in there 12 hours a day, and I just wanted 1 hour, and it would be something that they would want to watch too, right? I go in there, and they don't say nothing. So I say, okay, and I said, I'll be back in an hour. And when I walk out the door, Pineapple Girl was like, we were watching it. And I said, what? And she said, we're watching it. And I said, well, why didn't you say nothing when I came in there? Just having an attitude for no reason, making the entire place uncomfortable for no reason. You know what I'm saying? Anyway, I told one of the paramedics. They went in there and he confronted her. It was that Spanish guy who was like really snappy. I don't like him, but he got her together. Anyway, he comes back in the cafeteria. We're all hanging out, talking, and I told them what happened. And my friend, like Tasha, she was like, I don't want no problems with them. And I'm like, girl, we're in a facility trying to make money and trying to be comfortable. Like, we shouldn't be scared. It's just something simple, right? Anyway, she comes in, she confronts him, and I was just being messy. So I started laughing at her when she was walking away, because I'm a little messy sometimes. That's what I do. And plus, she deserved it, y'all. She was knock-kneed. So yeah, she was walking away. I was laughing, and I was making it very apparent that I was laughing at her because I was like, "Look at her knees." So she goes back into the movie room. Nothing really happens. The next day, Prison Mom goes and she talks to Tasha, who I'm always hanging out with because she's scared of me at this point because she doesn't want to confront me because she says I'm crazy. So Tasha comes back and is like, "Oh, first of all, Pineapple Girl." She gonna go the next morning and was like, I didn't even know Pineapple Girl's name, first of all, but apparently they all know mine. I go by Irma whenever I'm in the studies. So she goes in the next morning and she's like, you know, Irma over here, and Irma and them, and when she says Irma and them, it's obviously Tasha. So she's talking about her like she's not even in the room, just being messy. So Tasha gets up and then she's like, you know, Irma and who? Because it's obvious who she's talking about, and she's like, whoever's hanging out with her. Anyway, just being messy. So then Prison Mom tries to diffuse the situation, and she talks to Tasha, and he tells her that she can't talk to me because I'm crazy. Which she could have easily talked to me, but she wanted to be messy, and she started this entire thing. Anyway, she was like, you know, I'm 35 or 40 or whatever, you're 35, you know, we grown, we should be able to blah, blah, blah. They always say that bullshit and they never do nothing about it. But, yeah. So they end up talking, and then she told them that I just want them to act like I don't exist. Like, don't talk to me. And that's really just what I wanted. So that was that. So then a couple days go by, and you know, I'm thinking that everything is pretty chill. I'm not looking at these girls. I'm not even smelling their presence. I'm not in the room with them anymore, so I'm in a good mood. I'm happy. I hate that they're here, but at least I can chill, and like I'm not so antsy anymore. The entire, like, everything is different. Y'all, one day I'm sitting down at lunch, and it was so weird. The cousin, one of the cousin girls, she is acting real funny. I was laughing with this girl, this fake chick that I was in the study with. I didn't even want to really hang out with her, but she was in my screening, whatever. So me and her, you know, we're talking, we're laughing, and they turn around to her and they tell her, we gonna put your stuff outside. And they were saying that because they didn't want her talking to me. I don't know why. They were acting real funny. So I was ignoring them, and I was still laughing and talking to them, and then she was like, why? And they didn't want to say why. We all knew why. So they get up, and she's just hanging by my chair, and I just keep eating because I'm like, this is strange. Like, why are you by my door? Like, and why are you by my chair? Like, move, you know? That's what I'm thinking, but I don't even say nothing to her. They get up and they leave the cafeteria. Then at lunch, the fake girl, she was not talking to me. She had her headphones in, and usually she's talking, but she was like just being a fake ass bitch. And so then they are not talking to each other, and they usually are talking so much at lunch. They got their headphones in, they get up and they leave. Y'all, I'll get up from lunch, and I go, and I would always sit in this little recliner, and I would just kind of like sit in front of the window because the sun felt good, because, you know, you've been inside of this sterile place for all this time. So every morning after I would dose, I would go and I would just like sit in front of the window for like 3 hours until the sun made its way back. I get a tap on my shoulder, y'all, from one of the coordinators, and she's like, you know, we need to talk to you in the room. So I'm like, fuck, what did I do? You know, I'm thinking that they're gonna kick me out of the study, like maybe my labs came out wrong. I get in there and she says, okay, Irma, I need you to be very honest. What happened? Tell us the incident that happened. So I'm like, what? I'm like, I thought we already talked about this, you know? So I just started telling them about that incident that happened with the movie room and the pineapple girl. And, you know, I'm like, into the story, I'm almost done, and they're like, wait, what? Because at first they were shaking their head like, so I'm like still telling it, and they're like, no, we're talking about what just happened 5 minutes ago in the lunchroom. And I was like, what? I was so thrown off guard, and I told them, I said, nothing happened. So then they were going to show me the report, but then they took it back, and they were like, so nothing happened a few minutes ago with 2 girls or anything? And I said, no, nothing happened. Sorry guys, but like I need to put my glasses on because I'm having a hard time seeing. There we go. So I was like, no, nothing happened. So they tell me to leave the room, and I leave, and I'm like, fuck. Because the crazy thing is that a couple days before, one of the girls, the girl with the pineapple head, she told everybody that she was gonna go and say that I did something so that they could kick me out of the study. These girls were really treacherous, y'all. But this is the story of my life. This is always how people treat me, and I'm like, I don't even do nothing to y'all. Like, whatever I did, it wasn't that serious, you know what I mean? So she had already told people that, so I had already been telling girls, like a couple days before that, they were trying to get me out of the study. I did not know that it was actually, like, okay, so she said that, but she was scared, so she wasn't gonna do nothing. Y'all, come to find out, those girl Red and Ash, they had went and told her that we had a fight in the cafeteria to get me kicked out of the study. Yes. They didn't want to deal with me no more, apparently, even though we had all agreed that we were not going to see each other, talk to each other, nothing. Like, we were literally just going to act like none of us existed, and that was how I was liking it. So they weren't keeping at the little end of the bargain. yeah, I go in there and I tell people what's happening. So then some of the girls start saying, you know, she had actually told us that they were going to do this to her, blah, blah, blah. They had told the coordinators, and they're like, thank you for telling us that. We didn't know. So then Tasha tells me, girl, you didn't hear what happened. I said, what? They said Prison Mom got kicked out of the study and banned. I was like, what? They kicked her out? They said, yeah, girl, you didn't hear it? I said, no. That's why they're doing this to me. They think that I'm the reason why their cousin got kicked out and banned, when I am not. I'm one of the only girls who didn't even say nothing about her to the people. The other girls were, because they were scaring them, okay? So I was like, no fucking way. So they said, yeah, she packed her stuff and she left. Yeah, I mean, to be honest, guys, people were dropping like flies out of the study anyway. So what was another girl? And I didn't even notice it. And I'm not even in the room no more, so I didn't even see her pack up and leave. And yeah. So anyway, guys, some time goes by. Some other girls were like, you know, we know that she didn't do this. They're just making it up. There was no fight in the cafeteria, and they even asked one, like the cafe lady who was serving us, and she even told them that there was no fight. So, y'all, they ended up ending their study. And I was like, yes, hallelujah. They sent them upstairs. When they send you upstairs, that means that you are down dosing and you leave. You get docked. You don't get all your money, for damn sure. And, you know, you're done. You're out of here. I don't know if they banned them from the study or if they put them on like a 6-month leave. I don't know, but I know for sure their cousin got banned. And the cousin, I'm glad that she's gone. And I am glad that she's banned, but I also wish that they would have got banned too. And I'm just going to be honest with y'all. So I was so happy. And they were terrorizing this girl who had dreadlocks. They were telling her that she stinks, that she's nasty, like, get away from us. Like, they would be making fun of her, this girl with the dreadlocks. And then weirdly enough, the girl with the dreadlocks, she was like sad that they were leaving. She was like, man, they didn't have to leave in their study. And the crazy thing is that, and then she was getting like really defensive with me. She was like, stop being happy. Like, don't, because I went out there and I started laughing at them, and I was like, bye. When I saw them with their, you know, they were struggling with like their blankets, and they were struggling with their suitcases, and they were leaving out the door. I was really, really happy. And she was like, don't do that. That's just immature. You won. Let yourself. And I was like, bitch, shut up. Let me go out there and yell happy things, okay? These girls have terrorized me for no reason, y'all. Mind you, I did nothing to these girls. Simply because I'm too happy and always in a good mood. That's how they do black people. I swear, black people, it's like so weird. Like, that's always been my issue, but whatever. So, because obviously black girls are supposed to act a certain way and look a certain way, whatever. Rose eyes. Anyway, I'm getting all these text messages because people are getting on my nerves. Okay, y'all, so yeah. So that ended up happening. They ended up leaving. I was so happy. But the crazy thing is that the white girl was like, hey, did you tell people that I was dirty? And then she was like, yeah. I said, you're dirty, you're nasty, you stink. That's what Ashley told her. And I was just like, well, this is who you be defending. So anyway, the study ended. The fake ass girl who I sat next to in lunch, she was really sad to see them go. And I was so happy that because they left, it pushed me up 2 spots. So now I didn't even have to sit with her fake ass anymore at lunch. And I was so happy. The entire mood of the study was like completely different. We were all laughing, talking to people who we would have never talked to. We were all walking around like, it's crazy how 3 people leaving changed the entire function of the study. And then one of the coordinators was like, you know, I actually had been wanted them to leave. She told me that, and she said, but I just didn't have a good enough, well, she said, every time I tried to make them leave, Dr. T, he's really nice, and it's very hard to get kicked out of a study with him because you can pretty much do a lot of things, and he will not kick you out. He understands that it's money and that we'll get over it. But yeah, the other lady, she was like, kick her out, let her go. So she took that day, and she sent home 3 people. And that's $12,000 per head. I think they still get a portion though, or whatever. But yeah, so she ended up sending them home. Everything was cool. We were all having fun in the study. I had that night, y'all, I had music on while I was in the shower. I took like a 2-hour. I took like a 40-minute shower. I took a long hot ass shower. I was so happy. And she told me that she just used me as an excuse to let them leave. And I said, girl, you can use me for whatever excuse you need to. And then the other coordinator, she was like, you know, I really don't even, the one, Wendy, who handles our money, she was like, I wish I didn't have to give them anything, but Dr. IT wants me to pay them for their time. So when you get banned, Prison Mom only got, I think, what was it, $22 a day? I think for every day that she was here. And then the other girls, I think they got paid for each night they were here, she said. But she said she was going to dock them tremendously. So I was happy with either one. Y'all some dumbass girls. And they're stupid for sticking together. And they were acting all happy when they were running down the hallway. But I was like, no, y'all stupid. Like, y'all galloping like some horses. But if I'm friends with a chick and she makes me lose out on $9,000, we not friends no more. I don't give a damn if I only get $2,000. Me and you, we're not cool. Because you're stupid. Those girls could have easily stayed in the study if they would have just started something with me, because I'm crazy. I'll argue with you with my dumb self. So if they would have just literally approached me with some bullshit and we would have started arguing, that would have been an incident, and they could have easily just used that. But because they're not stupid, because they are stupid, they just made up some random thing, and because they lied, they kicked them out of the study and they lost out on money. So yeah, guys, that was my drama in the study. Pineapple Girl ended up going home a couple days later. I was going to plan some shit on her, but she was already leaving. And then the other two girls who was hanging out with Prison Mom every day, it was down to like 1 or 2 girls. So, you know, they're just trying to talk to anybody they can because they don't want to be there and alone. But even though they had isolated themselves. So I just didn't even talk to her. I just ignored her the entire time. I act like she didn't even exist at that point. The other girl who was really getting on my nerves. But yeah, guys, that was my little drama in the study. The good thing is that I still had like, what, 18 days left of fun, or like 15 days left, and it was really cool. We all went outside, we did like activities and stuff, and I was just chilling. I had a great room. I didn't have anxiety. The only reason why I was able to survive this study is because of the drug I was on. I was on an anti-anxiety, antidepressant study. Other than that, I would have went bug wild. I would have been like, fuck you bitches. Well, I did kind of go wild, but still. It wasn't as bad as it usually would be. But yeah, what else happened? Anything else happen? You know, it was very weird. A lot of the girls, like, I just wasn't really hanging out with nobody like that. I was just watching Orange is the New Black, and then we would all just like watch movies together and stuff. We were just chilling. But the girl with the dreads, she was kind of like getting above herself because you know the terrible people were gone. She was kind of getting ahead of herself, but whatever. I was like, just go away. And yeah, that was pretty much it. So I would totally do the study all over again, obviously, because I love that facility. But, of course, I could leave the drama behind. And next time I am going to say something earlier to people. I'm not going to wait just because I feel uncomfortable. Anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching this video. Don't let this deter you from doing studies and getting your money. Do whatever you want to, okay? I love you guys so much. And if you like more story times, let me know. I have no problem in doing it. Have a good day, guys. I love you. Bye.